Live. Sorry, we've been kind of missing these past couple of days. We are back, and today we're going to talk about how to dream of something that connected you to up with all these thoughts and questions and doubts of why is it that you just had a dream, maybe of an ex, or a dream of a situation that happened to you many years ago. So you want to make sure that you're listening to your mind at the first moment that you're waking up. And I know it sounds weird because what does that mean? How do we listen to our mind? Hi guys, welcome. We're in MiamiTV.com if you guys want to check. You can take a look anytime. Hola Marcelo, bienvenido. So you want to make sure that you're being aware of how your mind is. Your mind should be rested. So how do you know if your mind is rested, and how do you appreciate the dreams that you've had, bienvenido Diego, to know if they were positive or negative? So it's very simple. If you all of a sudden had a dream of something that isn't that is leaving you with a little bit of anxiety, it's your mind telling you, and it can only tell you the moment that you're asleep, because you're so busy throughout the day that when can it actually get to you? You know, like it can't, the universe can't get to you at any time because you're always busy and you're maintaining your mind busy at all times. So, hey, let's try to get to Jenny when she's sleeping, right? And that's when you have those wow moments, or you have those thoughts that when you wake up, you're in a little bit of anxiety, wondering, why did I just dream about that person? Or why did I just dream about this place that I used to live in, or this. So there's always a message to begin with. So if you're dreaming about a person, make sure, hi Frederick, Jenny, you always have interesting subjects to talk about. Thank you. And yeah, if you guys want to add your stories or something that you might do when you wake up, I'm glad to hear it and read it out loud. Hola Luis. Welcome guys. Yes, we are live. I have anxiety. Oh no. Well, see, this is for you then. We're going to get there because it's going to be several chapters of self-improvement, several chapters of being able to really control our mind, which I think at the end of the day, that's what would benefit every single one of us. How do we get to the ultimate, that ultimate breach of our highest potential is the control of your thoughts and control of your mind. If you don't have control of that, you don't have control of anything. So we're going to start from the first decision you ever make at the beginning of the day. If the first decision is that of consciousness, then you're going to have a day of wokeness, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, but you're going to have a day of consciousness, you know. I discovered you a little more than a year ago. I think you're stunning. Love watching your stuff. Thanks, Erin. Welcome. So when you're telling your mind and your body, I'm waking up and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to have you present. I'm going to have the consciousness and subconsciousness present throughout the day. You're telling that to your mind and you're telling that to yourself. So you're making it a fact. You know, so by the moment you wake up and you take these deep 5 breaths, panic attacks, this can help. Don't do him like that, because then if you do him that hard, you're probably going to have a panic attack. So you can do him slower. I'm a little bit hyper now. And by the time you're done, this is when you're really going to clear your mind and say, today's going to be the best day of my life. And you know what? Even if things happen, even if things don't go the way that you planned, just always think, hey, it could have been so much worse. And when you say, no, it couldn't have been so much worse, then you've never lived in somebody else's shoes that is going through a war right now, or that doesn't have somewhere to sleep, or that doesn't have that privilege that you have of waking up and at least make a decision for yourself, because maybe they're behind bars, wrongly accused, right? So I always say, when you think there's something wrong with you, there is always something and someone on the other side, or maybe right next to you, that is going through something so much worse. So always remember that. I'm recurrently dreaming and I'm naked and both feel and wake up very relaxed. What could be the meaning of such dream? It probably means that you have to sleep naked. Which, by the way, I highly recommend. If you can get, the higher the thread of cotton, natural, of course, natural fabrics are the best. And if you can sleep, I mean, nobody's going to see you. You're under the sheets. So who came up with the idea that we have to sleep with pajamas on? I mean, unless it's really cold where you're at, I really don't see the purpose. You could just cover yourself up with the sheets and the comforter. But yeah, sleeping naked at the first thing is, estoy naranjita, ¿no? Sleeping naked, I think it's definitely beneficial. Okay, so you're making decisions, and the first decision that you make when you wake up is being conscious. And by doing that is you're repeating yourself that your day is going to be the most amazing day ever. And if you have anxiety attack, then you're gonna address those. You're gonna tell your subconscious in your mind. You're gonna say, these are not gonna happen today because I am in full control. I am in full control of my emotions. I am in full control of what happens to me. And if you can control your emotions, you can control your body. So it's really simple. You just have to listen to yourself a little more. And when you don't listen to yourself, when your mind is all over the place, this is when emotions kick off by themselves with impulses, and you end up having these panic attacks. Bueno, hablando un poquito de temas de, a ver, como ataques de pánico, creo que sí, desde el principio que nos levantamos, ¿no? Estamos dándole una orden al cerebro de que necesitamos tener una respiración bien profunda y queremos estar conscientes. O sea, en vez de que lo primero que sucede es ver nuestro celular, hola Antonio, ver nuestro celular porque, wow, es lo primero, a ver las noticias, a ver qué hacemos, ¿no? A ver qué pasó en el mundo. No, date unos minutos por lo menos, date un tiempo para llegar a ese punto donde le estás diciendo a tu mente, a ver, déjame recapacitar qué es lo que acaba de pasar en la noche, qué tipo de sueños he tenido, qué tipo de mensajes quizás han tratado de llegar a mí. Y saca una lógica de esos sueños. Si tú soñaste con alguien de tu pasado, si soñaste con un familiar que no has hablado por mucho tiempo, quizás está mal, necesita de tu ayuda. Si estás soñando con un trabajo en particular, o sea, siempre, siempre, siempre hay mensajes en nuestros sueños. Lo que pasa es que, claro, estamos acostumbrados a pi, 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 no, suena la alarma y de repente, como en las películas, apagas la alarma y sigues durmiendo un rato más y luego, ay, bueno, hay que ir a trabajar. Y ahí estás en automático. Que me lavo los dientes, que no sé, te bañas, te peinas, vas, te haces el café, haces el desayuno, etcétera, etcétera. Y llegaste al auto y por ahí hasta llegaste al trabajo y todo fue en automático. O sea, no viviste, en realidad no estás viviendo. Estás como un robot. O sea, es lo mismo como si fuera un robot. Entonces, vamos a cambiar eso. Vamos a empezar nuestros días pensando tomando una respiración bien profunda, por lo menos de unas 3 a 5 veces. Inhalas y exhalas por la boca. Súper importante exhalar por la boca. En la fuerza y en la rapidez que tú desees, como se siente bien para ti. Pero al final de eso vas a estar presente y vas a darte una orden. Es como que vas a comandar a que tu cerebro y tu energía ese día estén conscientes, ese día estén preparados para lo que sea que venga. Porque recuerda de que aunque tú digas hoy va a ser un gran día y te pasan cosas que no corresponden y el día no es tan bueno como pensabas, después vas a decir eso no funciona. O sea, siempre piensa hubiera sido peor. Porque siempre hay alguien en el mundo, quizás hay alguien muy cerquita de ti, de que está pasando por algo mucho peor. Entonces, el hecho de que tengas ese despertar tan bonito de poder tomar esa decisión, ¿cuánta gente se despierta y está... Hay muchas personas que están en la cárcel hi Daryl, por equivocación, o sea, qué horrible, ¿no? Hay personas que están de todas las edades que están pasando por guerras. Entonces, si tú tienes ese derecho de poder de levantarte y decir, wow, estoy libre, tengo mi propia decisión sobre mi cuerpo, sobre mi vida, no estoy captivo, no soy un esclavo sexual, por ejemplo, de cuántos niños y, bueno, ni hablar. Entonces, tú tienes esa libertad. Entonces, no permitas que tu mente, que encarceles tu mente, porque en realidad encarcelas tu mente a tu propio gusto, porque lo estás haciendo en el momento que te despiertas y lo que haces cuando te despiertas es mirar el celular. Entonces, estás permitiendo que otras personas programen tu día. Entonces, eso no debería ser así. Tú tendrías que tener el control de decir, yo voy a tomarme por lo menos 5 a 10 minutos en poder hacer una pequeña respiración. Jenny, pero es que no sé meditar. No importa, solamente enfócate en tu respiración y piensa en darle órdenes a esa computadora. O sea, si la computadora tú no le mueves el mouse o tu teléfono tú no lo mueves con los dedos, no va a funcionar. Entonces, tu mente es igual. Si tú no le comandas órdenes, que en realidad estás programando, entonces va a hacer lo que quiere. Y cuando hace lo que quiere, se deja llevar justamente más por las influencias de los demás y no tanto por las tuyas. Lo que queremos es volver a tener un control. Y uno de los controles, lamentablemente, es diciéndoles, no miren el celular cuando se levanten a primera hora. Después del desayuno, ahí sí, lo primero que van a mirar es un post de Jenny Scordamaglia. Con algo de motivación, ¿va? De por sí me pueden seguir en Twitter, @energyjenny. Do you think that the brain connects with a recent dream right after dreaming, or does it take the time for us to process dreams? Thanks, Marcelo. I think that it takes time for us to process dreams, but the thing is that we don't allow ourselves that much time to process a dream, because the moment that we wake up, we're immediately saying, we gotta go, right? Like we're in turbo mode. Like it's very few of us that actually get up and we're, slow. Unless you don't have a job or you're not doing anything, you might be slow. But other than that, you got somewhere to be at a specific time, you're gonna rush. You got, kids to feed, you're gonna rush. So most of the people, at least 95% of the population, I think, is in that turbo mode where we don't allow our mind to have that rest. And it rested while you were sleeping. But yet, what about people that are putting like white noise to sleep, or they're putting music to sleep? I don't think there's anything wrong with these things that you can use through meditation, but I think that when you're sleeping, you shouldn't be influenced by any kind of sound. In fact, if somebody were to take you to is it a deprivation tank? Is that the right word? Am I saying it right? The privacy tanks where you're basically deprived from all your senses. Yeah. So they're not going to put music for you to see if you can connect, or you should be in silence when you're sleeping. And if you're not able to sleep, it's because there's something in your mind that needs to be addressed. There's something that is keeping you with that anxiety that you need to fix. Just by saying, let me just put some music on, and go to sleep with the music, which, by the way, I loved going to sleep with music until Enrique, my husband, he's like, I do not sleep with music on. And I understood later on, just like as many things. Hola, Augusto, gracias, besos. But it makes sense. I mean, why would, if we're constantly throughout the day, we're having all this noise, basically, from cars, if you're in nature like I am, I guess it's different. You have the birds, the chipmunks, the eagles. The iguanas don't make noise. Or if they did, it would be a really loud place in the jungle. The little geckos do. Anyway, you get my point, right? So you want to make sure that if we're having our mind being influenced by all these noises throughout the day, specifically if you're working in a place where there's a lot of people, or if you live in the city, you have the horns, you have the cars, your mind is rarely ever quiet. And I think that's why people that always come to my retreat in Energy Tulum in Tulum are always like, this is heaven on earth, because it's quiet, they listen to the birds. It's like, when are you ever really in silence? And most people don't like to be in silence because their mind starts going all over the place. But guess what? You have to, if you want to get somewhere in life, in the projects that you're aiming towards, the things that you want to do for yourself and grow as a human being, you have to address the skeletons in the closet. You have to address the things that are wrong with you. And there's always something wrong with us. I mean, don't expect, like, none of us are perfect. If not, like I said, we wouldn't be here. So if there's something that happened with you when you were a kid, if there's something that happened to you when you were a teenager, with a parent or with a family member or whoever, and you've never healed it, you've never gone back to really address it, how do you think that holding on to these feelings is going to affect you throughout your life later on? The older you get, since these feelings are not going anywhere because you haven't done anything about them, the worse it's going to get. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have as less baggage as possible. And I like to see this as like a backpack, like a lot of people, it's not my idea, a lot of people talk about this, the backpack of, the things that you've done in life, and all the regrets or situations or problems that you've had, and it's kind of like you just start hovering with it, and it just gets heavier and heavier. And I've actually noticed in people that I've treated that the people that are very, very negative usually have like a really, really, really almost arched back. I'm not saying go out to the street and the first person you see that has a, like a hunched back, it's negative. No. I'm just saying that it's happened that I've seen people that I've treated that are very negative, and they have that coincidental match between them. So, and one of them even said, you know what, you're right. I have noticed that throughout the years, my back back has just becoming, worse and worse. And of course, it has to do with so many other things physically, if your posture, the things that you do for work, etc. But the same thing, if you're working in a job that requires that much attention and you're getting stressed out and that's causing your back to be like that, same thing. So your posture, which is something I'm also working on, your posture, if your spine is super, super straight, the fluids can run better, the energy can run better, everything is basically better. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Anyway, so going back to the last question from Marcelo about our mind. So I think that you could, does having cell phones close to your bed at night affect your sleep? Yeah, absolutely, because it's radiation. So just like I wouldn't recommend you sleeping even with white noise, as positive and spiritual as people say it is, you need to get used to sleeping in as darkest as room as you can, okay, of a room that you can, and as quiet of a room that you can, because this is your deprivation tank. I hope I'm saying that word right. And that is a time for your body and mind to reset. So then, when you wake up, if you do have a sensation of something that was left, because of a last dream, and you remember it, then try to really figure it out and take those 10 minutes to say, okay, what is this trying to tell me, and why is it coming up? And maybe it has nothing to do with what you just dreamt. Maybe it's just like a message for something else that's going on. So if you're not able to sleep to begin with because you have anxiety, definitely you need to do mindfulness. You need to figure it out, why this anxiety is coming out. What is it about your mind that is so strongly gripped on to your ideologies and to our programming that you need to decode and break, so you can actually get to the next point of saying, I am over this, and at least a little bit of that anxiety is going to get a little lighter, and then go to the next. Because if you have anxiety, that means there's 1,000 things that happen in your life that you're still bottling up, because you're probably still in that mentality of, well, men are not supposed to cry, men are supposed to be strong. Hi, Colorado, how are you? Men are not supposed to show their weak side, because we are the head of the family and we are the one that provides for the family, which is no longer true. I mean, now it's women and men, but I'm saying men have been, I guess you could say, kind of like given this responsibility, that machism, that they still carry as a burden. So it happens to both men and women, especially imagine women that are both a dad and a mom, or men that are both dad and a mom. I mean, the amount of responsibility and stress that provides in the person, and doing a great job. But the thing is, if you're doing everything with love, then at the end of the day, if you trust yourself in your decisions, that you're doing everything from love and from within, then everything's going to be okay. Did you see the solar eclipse from Monday? It was not shown here in Tulum, so I didn't see it. But remember, there were so many things being said, and I told you guys, what is, hay que cerrar la puertita. What is something going to happen? And I said, nothing is going to happen. You guys relax. And there were so many conspiracies about these things, like, oh, there's going to be huge blackouts and there's going to be massive attacks and this and that. Breathtaking Jenny, your eye makeup look, I lost it, sorry. It looks lovely this evening. I don't want to fly off topic. Yeah, sorry, thank you. Yeah, I get distracted when you... So this is the thing, like, social media is focused on fear. And remember, who owns social media to begin with? That's why I'm saying, like, if you're waking up to see the news, that is not something that's going to benefit you throughout the day, because what you want, the moment that you're asleep, you actually have a balance of your energy. Did you know that? Because you're not controlling it. So all of a sudden, your body and energy is super beautifully flowing. And then you wake up and you're like, okay, my consciousness is in control now, so I'm not going to allow that peace to be in me anymore. And that's not how it should be. The time is up, but we are going to continue tomorrow. Bueno, amigos, perdón, ha sido mucho inglés, pero lo que quiero es que no se dejen llevar por el miedo, ¿no? Por ejemplo, lo que estábamos hablando el otro día del eclipse, ¿cuántas personas han salido a decir de que iban a haber apagones, que iba a haber esto, iba a haber lo otro, que estaba hasta la policía, creo que salió en Estados Unidos diciendo recomendaciones? Pero si te pones a pensar, pues no pasó nada, al fin del cabo no pasó nada, por lo tanto tienes que mantenerte en ese pensamiento relajado, en ese pensamiento de paz, de armonía, que solamente lo obtienes cuando estás durmiendo, porque cuando no estás durmiendo, tu consciente está tan activo que no permites de que tu energía esté relajada y activa. Entonces, vamos a intentar mantener esa paz que sientes cuando estás dormido, porque tu conciencia no está tomando el control. Y vamos a intentar mantenerla durante el día. Entonces, ¿qué hacemos? Vamos a tomar una respiración muy profunda, al menos unas 5 veces, decir que va a ser un día fenomenal y que esa paz que sientes adentro la vas a tener presente durante el día y no hay vuelta que darle porque tú eres el que comanda. Entonces, es como una computadora que estás tocando Control Shift Command, ¿ok? Y se grabó en la mente y listo, ese es tu día. Y como les dije, y si algo malo pasa, no se preocupen porque siempre podría haber sido peor. Siempre recuerden eso. Mañana vamos a continuar con otro Shani Live. No se olviden de que estamos poniendo los programas como podcast también, por lo tanto, por eso estamos haciendo varios solamente en inglés y vamos a hacer algunos solamente en español. Pero nos vemos mañana, volveremos a hablar sobre cómo podemos seguir controlando nuestra mente desde el momento que nos levantamos, pero lo más importante es eso para el día de hoy. Mantengan esa tranquilidad y mañana cuando se levanten quiero que respiren 5 veces, repitan afirmaciones sobre cómo quieren que sea su día y luego pues continúen adelante. All right, guys, we're going to see you tomorrow. Have an amazing evening. Thanks for being with us. Stay positive, and I will address the questions that we were left with tomorrow in the next Journey Live. Have a great one. Stay positive. Be good. Nos vemos mañana a la misma hora y continuamos con estos temas. Un besito. Good night, guys. Stay positive.